down, please. Right. Right. Good morning, everyone. Online students, good morning. Can you hear me? Can you see the screen? Online students, please check. Can you hear me? Can you see the screen? Kindly please message me in the chat for me. Right. 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 Yes. Very good morning, guys. Very good morning. So, yes, you can even you can see the screen. All right. Let us start our today's session. So, guys, yes, before starting out today's sessions, as always, let us just try to have a very small and a quick recap of the concepts which we had covered in our sessions up to now. Up to now. Okay. Starting JDBC. Yes, we started discussing about JDBC. We know that in JDBC architecture, there are totally 7 components are there. The very first one is JDBC API. Second one is driver manager class. Third one is drivers. Fourth one is connection interface. Next one is statements. Next one, result set. Next one, SQL exception. Whenever we are saying these words, immediately actually we are remembering the code. Am I right or wrong? Tell me. When you say driver, okay, there are 4 types of drivers are there. Type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4. Which one we are actually using? Type 4 driver. Okay, when you are saying driver manager class, you actually know what is the use of the driver manager class. What is the use of driver manager class? Driver manager class is used to call a static method. What is that method? Get connection. And it is a parameterized method or non-parameterized method. How many parameters? Type, string. All the 3 are string parameters. The first parameter should be URL. Which URL? Database URL. Did you remember the URL? Tell me. JDBC dot JDBC colon Oracle colon thin colon localhost @localhost colon 1521 colon warcl xe. You know what is that 1521? What is that 1521? Port number. And xe or warcl, that is the service name. Yes, we already know that. And yes, that is okay. With the help of that get connection method, we are actually trying to get the connection. Literally, the name itself is self-explanatory. Connection interface. In connection interface, there are a lot of driver manager dot get connection method. We are able to get the object for our connection interface. Wait, to get an object, we know that we'll not be able to create an object for interface. When I say connection interface object, I mean object interface. Basically, that is the first program which you have written in our advanced Java. Did you remember that? Okay, by using a class, we are able to return an instance of an object. You remember that? Okay. And after that, we started discussing about statements. Yes, 3 statements we are having. What are those? Statement, prepared statement, callable statement. What is the use of that statement? I mean, when we need to use a statement, we need to use statement if we want to execute single or simple SQL queries. Okay, what about prepared statement? What about prepared statement? We need, when we need to use prepared statement, if you need to execute one SQL query for multiple times, then we need to use a prepared statement. Okay. When you're speaking about prepared statement, we know that we need to use parameterized SQL queries. Parameterized SQL queries, question marks, right? Okay. We know how to pass those values, set string, get parameter. We know that. We know that. Then after that, we started discussing about callable statement. What is the use of callable statement? Callable statement is used to execute stored procedures and functions. Okay, and after that we started discussing about result set. Yeah, we know what is a result set, and I mean how we will be able to get the result set by executing which method. By executing which method we will be trying to get the result set. Which method we need to execute? Execute query. The return type for execute query is a result set. When you're speaking about result set, we know what is that result set contains. Result set contains the data which is present in the table. I mean, our SQL query, which SQL query you are writing, I mean, selection group SQL queries, to be precise. You remember that? Whenever we are writing that selection group will be retrieved and stored in the form of a result set. Result set, scrollable result set, non-scrollable result set. Okay, we can make our result set as a scrollable. By default, our result set will be non-scrollable. We can make our result set as scrollable by using three types and two modes. Okay, type sensitive, type insensitive, type forward only, conquer, read only, conquer, updatable. These are the types and modes. To that, there is an enhanced version for result set, that is row set. 5 types of row sets are there: JDBC row set, cached row set, web row set, filtered row set, and join row set. So all these row sets are there. And then we started discussing about transaction management. When you're speaking about transaction management, mainly there are 4 features are there: atomicity. Come on. ACID. I mean, go in this order only. First one, atomicity. Next one, consistency. Next one, isolation. Finally, last one is durability. We need to follow those acid properties. Whenever we are dealing with these acid properties, then we need to use the methods like get auto commit, set auto commit, commit, rollback. Did you remember those? So with the help of those, wait, all these methods are present inside connection interface with achieve the principles of transaction management. And then we started discussing about connection pooling, batch processing, passing blob or glob data into the database. All we already completed. And then we started discussing about servlets, server side programming. Okay. The very first point, just a second. Right. The very first point, listen, please close your laptops for me. Please close, please close. Yeah. Now, the very first point, whenever we are dealing with server side precise servlets, you need to remember is request response. Complete servlet programming will be depends 2 concepts only: request response. Client will be sending a request through the browser, yes, through the browser. Whenever we are dealing with servlet programming, obviously browser will be coming into place. Okay, one more time. Client will be sending a request through the browser. That request should be accepted by a Java program, which is actually known as servlet. It is going to perform some operations and a response will be generated. Request response. This is actually servlet programming. Once we started with our servlet programming, first we started discussing about servlet API. Yeah, I mean, servlet interface, it is actually present inside Java dot servlet package. In that servlet interface we are having, in that servlet interface totally we are having 5 abstract methods are present. You know, interface, 5 abstract methods are present. What are those? First one, init, initialization. Please tell me, init method is a parameterized method or non-parameterized method? How many parameters? Type. Only 2 to 3 people are saying. That is very good. What about, tell me, what is the type of the parameter? Servlet config. Remember. Remember that. Remember that. Servlet config. Okay. After that, what is the second method? Service method. Tell me. Service method is a parameterized or non-parameterized? How many parameters? What are those? Servlet request, servlet response. After that, destroy. Okay, now guys, init, service, destroy. All the live info, get servlet config also. I mean, not exactly right now. We will use these methods. Anyways, so these are all the 5 abstract methods which are present in the servlet. From servlet interface, we are having a child class. We are having a child class. Means there is a class which is inheriting, no, which is implementing servlet interface. What is that class name? Generic servlet. Now in generic servlet, how many methods are already implemented? How many methods which we need to implement? Means we need to override. What is that method? Generic servlet, there is one more child class. What is that? HTTP servlet. When you're speaking about HTTP servlet, all the abstract methods are already being implemented. So you specifically no need to here. Okay. And then, yes. And then just we cover this. And yes, if you want to create a servlet, we are having 3 options. We are having 3 options. Please tell me what are those. First one is implementing servlet interface. Second one is extending generic servlet. Third one is extending. Which one is recommended? Which one actually we are using currently? Generic servlet. Okay. So only 2 to 3 programs we'll be discussing on generic servlet. Next, all we'll be dealing with the HTTP servlet. Okay. Now, yes, after this, we wrote some content. Wait, we wrote this content. Up here, we have written in the notes. Now, let's speak about our code. Okay. Let me just try to remove all this. I'm speaking about app 1. That is the first application which we have created. Okay. Once we started with our servers programming, we cannot create a normal Java project. We cannot create a normal Java project. Now, normal Java project means the output will be visible in a console. Okay, the output will not be visible in a browser. If you want your output to be visible on a browser, we need to create a dynamic web application. That is what first we have created, app 1. Right click, just now, if you are going with right click, go to new, directly on with other, and again, that web, you are having that dynamic, but currently directly with the help of dynamic web project, if you give a click on that, automatically you will be able to get your project. Now here I'm going app3, app 3. Sir, is it mandatory? Come on, you already know this, it's not mandatory. I'm just trying to give a name like that, app 3. Now inside this we are having dynamic web module version. Make sure to select 4.0. Please don't go with 5 and 6. Your Tomcat is not compatible with that. If you're selecting 5 or 6, you may be getting a chance of getting an error. Your build path will not be compatible with the Java which you have given. So that is the reason I requested you to select 4.0. And then After that, don't select finish. If you select finish, the problem is web.xml file will not be getting created. Wait, what is web.xml file? Buddy, whenever we are dealing with our core Java, you know that every Java program execution starts from right now in advanced Java, the very first file that will be deployed into your server is web.xml. Your execution starts from web.xml. In that, see, that is the only reason the name deployment descriptor. Which one you want to deploy? You know, there may be multiple HTML files. There may be multiple JSP files. Which file we need to deploy into the server first? We need to give that description. That is the only reason the name deployment descriptor. If your web.xml file is not present in your project, you will not be able to execute your project, that is sure. And we can actually create a web.xml page also. For example, if anyone is forgetting, we can create it. But you know, that is again, it will make a lot of problem. My advice, once you wrote the project name, kindly please don't select finish, select next. Once you select next, okay, you will be getting src main Java. Again, don't go with finish, select next. There you will be seeing a checkbox, generate web.xml deployment descriptor. Please make sure to check that. Please make sure to check that and then give a click on finish. Done. Your project got created. App3 project got created. Once it got created, just feel free to compare. Just check that. Okay, expand your project, expand SRC, expand main, expand web app, expand WebNF, and there you will be having your deployment descriptor, web.xml. If you open this, sometimes for the first time it will be something like this. For the first time, just go to the source here, source, and you will be getting like this. Now in this we are having welcome file tags. Welcome file tags. In these we don't need all these, we just need only one welcome file tag. Which HTML file or JSP file you want to be running first, that HTML or JSP file we need to write it here. For example, I want to create a HTML file. Now this is very important. Please listen to this clearly. If you want to create a HTML or JSP file, please don't right click on WebInf. Please don't right click on lib. Don't right click on WebInf, MetaInf, where you need to give a right click web app. Web app. Right click on web app, go to new, select JSP. Or else, okay, I want to go with just a second HTML. Okay, right click on web app, go to new HTML file. Now here, I'm just trying to go with a HTML file. Let me simply go with WLCOME, welcome STUDENT, welcome student.html file. Next and finish. Enough. HTML file got created. You already covered UI. Did you? You know how to. Did you? Now, what I'm going to do here, simply I'm going to write CNTR center. Okay, just let me center, and here just slash like this. Okay, center. Now inside this, going to write, let me go like H1, H1, and here data WELCOME, welcome to, or else STUDENT, student data. I'm just trying to write like this, and here let me just try to close. I'm closing my H1 student data. Okay. Now I'm going to create a form action tag. Form action tag. I'll do one thing. Let me just try to write H2. You know what is the use of this H1, H2? Yes or no? Okay. Now inside this, I'm writing a form action tag. Sure. Let me just try to write FORM form action from form action. And here I'll just try to get it. Wait for it. Now form action tag. Inside these double quotes, we need to give a URL path. Inside this double quotes, in this form action tag, we need to give a URL. Your compiler is going to search with that URL. For example, I'm going to give here the name as GRADE, grade. I'm just giving like this, not more than that. Okay. Now here method. In servlets, mainly we are having two methods are there, get and post. What is the difference between get method and post method? In a few days, you'll be able to get it. But as of now, let's go on with post. Highly secure, more secure than get. So I need to go with post. POST. No. Try to go with POST. Small letters. Am I clear with that? So a form action is generated. Please don't close. Don't write like this. Just try to close the form action, form tag here. This is the starting. This is the ending. Inside this form action tag, we will be writing something like, for example, enter student student name, NAME, enter student name. Now here I'm going to write input type, input type equal to text name equal to, let me just try to go like S name. And here I'm just trying to write two break statements. Two break statements. And then here I'm just trying to write one more, just one more. Let me try to write like this. Enter, or else SUBJECT subject one. I mean to say subject one marks, just like that. Okay. Input type text. Here I am going with the S1. Subject one. S. Remember, this name plays a very crucial role. This name. And of course, this name tag. Okay. Please respond. Okay, done. That's it. I just don't want to go for more. Enough. Now I want to execute my program. I want to execute my project. I can do that. Without writing the entire servlet pages, I can do that. But before going to that, I told you to add a servlet API in the build path. Okay, right click, go to build path, configure build path, and here add external jars. If this option is not highlighted for you, here you will be having an option like class path. Select just a simple click on that class path and select add external jars. There you will be having your servlet API. Give a click on open, apply, and close. Done. Completed. Now I just want to check my HTML page is working properly or not.